So I'm Tanu. I'm the dynamics lead for the combustion team.
My name is Fatima. I am a second-year public relations student, and I am the public relations officer for the officer board of Longhorn Racing, and I'm also a combustion member on the operations system.
My name is Rebecca Schulberg. I am now a simulation and validation member, but I have been through the running.
I'm Amaya. I'm a second-year mechanical engineering major. I'm the powertrain lead for internal combustion.
Right, I'm Kellen Cow. I'm the team captain.
I'm Ariana. I am the aerodynamics performance analysis lead.
So what went well for your system last year?
We had a full aero package last year, courtesy to our old lead, who's now in Milton Keynes, but he was a major performance, designed a lot of it, and we were able to create it, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, full aero package.
So can you tell the audience what a full aero package is?
Yeah, so we had our front wing, rear wing, both side pods, under tray, and full body paneling.
So we tried out a new, wheel assembly design. We called it Big Bolt, and so it was super unique across all the teams. We hadn't really seen anyone else do it, and it's essentially like a two-piece hub design. And we were really worried about it failing once we ran the car. But throughout all of our testing, everything stayed together, and overall it seemed like a really great idea, and we're going to iterate on that this year.
So what was the most difficult challenge you had last year in your system?
So I think powertrain last year, the big issue that we had was finishing on time. So hopefully this year we can get to designing our intakes earlier and stop iterating by the design cutoffs so that we can have time to test and tune so that we can perform better at comp. Even though we did really well at design, we didn't perform as well as we wanted in the dynamic events. So hopefully if we sort out all of our calibration issues and testing issues, we can do a lot better in those dynamic events and really show the competition what our car can really do.
There was a little bit of, and this is less technical, but there was a little bit of communication issues with the team expanding so massively very quickly. One thing that's really important, and especially for engineers, is to communicate to each other effectively, right? And make sure that everyone is on the same page about everything. And we struggled with that. And it was understandable, but we definitely struggled with that. There were times where announcements would be made, not everyone would get it. Decisions would be made, not everyone would know about them. And so there's a lot of surprises. And that's something that I kind of want to change this year. I'm trying to have more open avenues of communication. Everyone sort of, if people are looking, then they can find the information that they need, right? And I think that was definitely the more human challenge that we experienced as the team grew last year.
So what's your favorite memory, or what do you think is your favorite success story from last season?
Oh God, I have no favorite memory. I am a big picture taker, and so I always look through all the pictures. I'm like, it was so much fun. Probably favorite memory is every time we make the seat every year. Even though it's in the moment not fun at all because you're crying while trying to get the seat to fold together, and you have a very strict time limit, but it's really fun looking back just because it requires everybody to combine together to actually get it done because you only have 30 minutes to mold this thing. And the year before that it was even quicker. It was probably about 2 minutes, and then you didn't have any time to work with it anymore. And so it's always been a fun experience whenever we're making the seat for the car.
Okay, so on the way up to comp, we got pretty bored at one point. So we stopped at a couple of fun little places. One of them was Menards, and that place is the best store in America. It has everything from tools to toilets to groceries. That was super cool. And then we also, Dynamics, we all stopped at the Indy 500, and we got to see some qualifying races, so that was super cool.
So how'd you get hooked into Formula SAE? How'd you find out about this?
Yeah, it was actually orientation. I was here, and I met some friends that I have, and we were just walking around, and we walked into the ETC, and one of the friends pointed out, oh, this is the LHR office. I was like, oh, what is that? And they're like, yeah, it's a Formula SAE team. And she kind of told me a little bit about it, and then I got into engineering. I got to see all three cars laid out and just talk to people, and that's kind of how I stumbled upon the team.
It's a stupid origin story in which I'm pretty sure everybody will shun me for. But at Gomes Engineering, which is like this big event that UT has every year, where all of the engineering teams come in and they show off everything, I saw the cars, and of course, everybody's two questions are, who drives it and what's with the Nalgene water bottles? And I was a what's with the Nalgene water bottles person, and the electronics lead of that year like explained it to me and like joked around, and I don't know, the whole team just seemed very fun compared to all the other ones that were very serious, which is understandable, but for me, I need to have an environment where I'm having fun to be able to do work.
So what is your number one goal for this season?
I'm going to talk about, I guess, like team goals. There's two of them. The big one in design is validation. We want to validate everything we do. We want to collect data, see it happen in the real world, not just on paper. We spend a lot of time, like a lot of our engineers, especially like in the last 2 years, we've designed good cars, and they've done well in design. We've gotten all the points and everything. We've been like 11th, or I think we were 9th the previous year too in design, which was amazing. So we can design a good car, but the question is, can we make it? And so this year, the whole goal is validate, validate, validate. Get the data, not just on paper, but on wheels. Put it out on the track, watch it race, get the lap times, and make sure that we can say, yeah, we don't just design good cars, we make them.
For this season, I think my goal is to gain a better understanding of dynamics, which is a whole system that I've kind of just danced around my entire time in the org. And in the system that I'm in now, we're required to basically use programming skills to program those dynamics into the simulations that we're creating, so that way we can actually understand what's happening. And so that's good. Not only do I have to understand dynamics, I have to understand how to program it, which is going to be a whole nother beast. But I'm really excited, and we've already, like, our lead has already given us a bunch of lessons, and it's been super fun so far.
What do you think is the hardest challenge coming into comp this year?
Yeah, so this year, all of dynamics are sophomores and freshmen, pretty much. So there's a huge knowledge gap, I guess, relative to previous years. So kind of making that knowledge gap smaller will be really difficult, but a lot of us have been putting in a lot of work. And I would say we know way more than we did last year. So then actually applying that knowledge and I guess proving to the judges that we know what we're doing.
Ooh, going into comp, I think having that testing and tuning time. I haven't been on the team in a case where we've been very prepared for comp. So my goal this year is to try to get powertrain ready for its design reviews so that we're not falling behind even just going into manufacturing season. I just want to keep the timeline up to date.
You have 30 seconds to get up and go get the coolest thing in the garage.
I would get my torque wrench, but it's not here. I need a chair. So, this is the engine, CBR 600RR. I'm also a big motorcycle guy, so I love motorcycles. I really want this particular motorcycle, ironically. Oh my God, it is really heavy. But yeah, no, in my opinion, like the two Formula teams, we design very similar products, right? And the big difference, there are cultural differences, of course, but the real big difference comes down to our powertrain. And this is where all the magic happens. Combustion science is very misunderstood, or not misunderstood. It's very, people spend their whole lives analyzing combustion processes and still don't fully understand how it works. And like even today, we're making breakthroughs like hydrogen fueling, synthetic fueling, direct injection, crazy stuff, right? Gaseous port injection and everything. And I think that's really what Formula combustion is like all about, I guess, in terms of like its specialty is, the combustion side of it. And so it's this. And I've spent way too many man hours working on something like this, engines, and I love it, yeah. So it would be this thing.
Oh my God.
It's so heavy.
For all that, have 30 seconds to get the coolest thing in the shop. Ready, set, go. Sponsor plug.
But here's a fun little story. Before the team, I never really drank energy drinks. I'm a very bubbly, energetic person, and I've never actually felt the need to drink anything more than coffee. And then I made it to college, and because of this team, I started drinking Red Bull, and quite honestly, Red Bull is the only energy drink that I actually consume. I think it's really good, and I also love the fact that Red Bull has another, like, they have a racing team as well, so it feels like they're just supporting what we do. It's like they understand what we do, and just the fact that we're able to get this with the help from Red Bull, it really just fuels the rest of the team. It fuels me. I don't even really work on the car, but it fuels me, so I can't even begin to imagine that the work that it does for the people who actually build the car, but Red Bull.
30 seconds to get the coolest thing in the garage. So could you tell us what that is?
This is the nose cone of last year's car. It's like, it's pretty bad. I don't like, to be honest, my most proudest sticker was the Firefly Aerospace one, just because of like the location and just their logo in general. But yeah, that was like, I think a 2 a.m. moment when Ashley and I were just like, yep, it's going there. So, yeah.
If you could pick an animal for your system to be, what animal would it be and why?
I would say red pandas, because I'm not entirely sure why, but like I feel like the vibe I get from like everyone in the system is everyone's super like chill and like friendly, and we just kind of like do whatever is necessary for the team, like no complaints. We just kind of like vibe with life, I guess, and do what we have to do. But yeah.
I'd say powertrain monkeys, because myself and a lot of the members on powertrain like monkeys.
Or does this run in a bloodline? Like, is it just like
We
the powertrain bloodline?
I mean, powertrain just recruits themselves over and over again. It's like we're all the same people.
That's the first interview question is, do you like monkeys? No? Okay, we don't want to.
I mean, it's just a degenerative spiral.
One last thing. Could you tell the audience what makes combustion so special?
Okay. This is not, okay, if I have to preface it that way, it sounds bad. But I was going to say, this is not a dig at other teams, because they do this too. But at the end of the day, I think we are like, not just like people who come together and work on the same thing. We all care about it deeply a lot, enough to put in significant amounts of time into this project, right? We're like family, right? And we have fun too. Like we try to make it fun, we try to make it engaging. And honestly, it makes no sense because we're giving up so much just to do this. But I'm pretty sure most people here would not want to do something else. And for me, like that's special. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but something about that atmosphere people want to stay.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.